My drone and the SD card inside of it are now sitting at the bottom of a lake in Kyrgyzstan. 3 days worth of footage of one of the most insane hikes I've ever done in my life. They were on that SD card. I got hired by a travel agency to not only capture this hike, but also deliver it to them, which is quite difficult if your drone is submerged underwater and you don't exactly know where. So the strange thing about this is that I've never crashed a drone before. I always fly with the safety sensors turned on, so on paper this shouldn't really have happened. I start looking underneath rocks and begin my search.
7 days of solo filmmaking at the edge of the world.
In 2024, my New Year's resolution was that I should make a bit better use of the perks of filmmaking. With perks, I don't mean editing videos 7 days a week. I wanted to see a bit more of the world than my MacBook screen. Travel. So I sent out my portfolio to a bunch of travel agencies, and about a month later I get only one reply. That's all I need, because after hopping on a call with them, I show them my portfolio, talk about YouTube, filmmaking, and I get the opportunity to go to Jordan. Mind-blowing experience, beautiful country, incredibly nice people. Only downside was that I couldn't bring my drone. Anyway, I delivered the content, I am happy, they are happy, and about a month later they asked me if I have any preferences for a next trip. Now, there's one country that has recently appeared on my radar and quickly climbed up to the #1 spot of places I want to visit. A country that is also rapidly rising in popularity, Kyrgyzstan. The travel agency lets me know they recently added a somewhat rough 7-day hike to their trips. One of Kyrgyzstan's most spectacular hikes, and they asked me whether I'm up for it. The trek is called the Ak-Suu Traverse. After saying yes, I quickly learned that the Ak-Suu Traverse in Kyrgyzstan is rated as extremely difficult and strenuous. My friend even called me about this.
Yo, dude!
Yo.
I read some details about that trail you were gonna do. Sounds like something that is very far away from your skill set.
Why are you calling me?
I hope you crash your drone. Bye!
The Ak-Suu Traverse is around 110 kilometers with over 7,000 meters of elevation gain over 7 days, featuring relentless high altitude climbs, steep loose debris and 0 official trail markers. Expect loose rocks, mud, river crossings and occasional snowbanks on high passes even in summer. Weather changes fast with fierce afternoon storms, hail and cold nights, and help is far away. There's no mountain rescue. There are very few people and the trails aren't marked. It's really important that you accurately assess whether you think you can do this. So I don't have any high altitude hiking experience. In fact, the majority of my life contains a lot of low altitude hiking and cycling experience because my city is located below sea level. The only option to get high in my city seems counterproductive. I just gotta make sure to not lose any gear, pay attention to falling rocks, and hope that my body can quickly adjust to the altitude. My backpack wasn't the only thing I needed to pack for Kyrgyzstan. I needed a way to pack my brain too. Usually gathering information and inspiration is quite chaotic. You've got a saved Instagram video over there, a bookmarked Vimeo link over there. It's all over the place. A little while ago, I found a way to structure all of this inspiration and information, and that is by using Milanote. Milanote is basically an infinite digital whiteboard that can be used to map out your film. If I found a cinematic YouTube video or great Instagram reel while scrolling on my phone, I just saved it to Milanote and then I can organize and structure it later on my MacBook. For Kyrgyzstan, I created a master board, then created a folder with reference videos, the shot list and also the important agency files. Basically everything was in there that's very important when you're shooting halfway across the world. Because it's so visual, it's basically like you map out your filmmaking brain on a screen. And because of that, the stress of pre-production is simply gone and I was ready for my trip. Big shout out to Milanote for sponsoring this video. You can sign up for free without a time limit. Check out the link in the description. We're about to board the first plane. The first stop is gonna be Istanbul. On our way to the gate, we only have 20 minutes left. Very tight transfer, but I think we'll make it. Let's go. Alright, successfully made it on the second flight. 4 hours and 50 minutes ago. Then we're in Bishkek and then we got another 6 to 7 hours of a bus ride, so almost there. It is day 1 of 7 of hiking in Kyrgyzstan. The next 7 days we'll be sleeping in yurts. And we'll be doing around 14 kilometers of walking today. But we're going up a lot, so very excited to see what Kyrgyzstan will look like. The excitement was 100% valid because on the first 3 days of this hike I learned that Kyrgyzstan looks like an absolute fairy tale. What immediately stood out to me were the endless grass fields that sweep upwards into the mountaintops. Because of the altitude, trees don't grow at most places here, and that makes you feel like you're hiking through an endless Windows screensaver. It even has a slight liminal space vibe to it. We hiked by following a glacier river that felt like it was placed perfectly in between the mountains, like a painter had put it down with a brushstroke. The lack of trees was made up by the many horses that were just roaming around, eating grass and chilling. Some were chilling so hard it almost looked like they were meditating. Day 4. This was the day I lost it all and learned my biggest lesson about flying drones in remote areas. I start out the day feeling quite relaxed because I've already captured lots of shots that were on our shot list. I had a great night of sleep, feeling quite energized, so I'm in front of the entire group because that allows me to film and not slow down everybody. We arrive at this beautiful lake, so I take out the drone and start flying. I've got this one signature cinematic drone shot I absolutely love. It's this shot where you fly really fast and close to either the ground or water. You start out pointing the camera downwards. You then pick up speed going forward and tilt the camera upwards at the same time. Because of the speed and proximity to the ground, you need to fly in sport mode and all sensors of the drone need to be turned off. This feels a bit scary because you cannot see what's in front of your drone when you're flying, but whenever I do this move, I obviously first make sure that there's nothing in front of the drone. I've done this shot countless times in the most beautiful landscapes and never had any problems. To this day, I never crashed my drone, even when I flew it through a flock of birds in Vietnam. Alright, here we go. I turn the sensors off, fly 50 kilometers an hour close to a meter above the lake. Looks cool with the rocks and all, but not exactly my signature shot. I fly back over the lake. Then there's suddenly a wasp close to my face while I'm controlling the drone, so I stop, make the drone hover and walk away. It takes me about 8 seconds in total to get back and control the drone again, but these 8 seconds were enough for me to forget that the sensors were still turned off. I'm quite similar to a goldfish. Okay, so a goldfish has a better memory. Okay, I guess I'm just stupid. So I control the drone again, start flying to the left where I cannot see if there's an object on the side until this frame. This is the very last frame my drone recorded. After this frame, the controller immediately shows me signal lost. So I went from waking up feeling great, energized and relaxed to feeling horrible and stressed. I did not only just lose my drone, but also the SD card inside of it, which contained 3 days worth of beautiful footage. Footage that a lot of the people in the hiking group helped me record and put a lot of effort into too. Even though around 5 other people and the legendary guides helped me search for the drone, minutes just kept passing. Eventually, someone in the group asked me whether I had the coordinates of where the drone crashed. First reaction of me was that if I had the coordinates, I wouldn't be looking underneath random rocks. However, this turned out to be a very important lesson because apparently your DJI drone has the last known point of connection. And this was really a turning point because this was the moment I finally started to get a bit of hope again.
Zijn we doen, Bruno?
We lost the drone, unfortunately. It would be horrible because we already captured so many great shots.
Yeah, I mean, look at this.
We got the coordinates, the last coordinates from 16 minutes ago. And it says it's over there, so we're gonna... I'm praying that we can find it.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey!
still alive.
Got the drone fresh out of the water. I'm wondering if it still works, but I'm incredibly happy with the...
Can it swim or not?
Well, I think maybe there's some like switch off when it hits the water, I hope.
Yeah, let's pray.
But it looks like there's water inside, so I'm
Alright.
gonna let it dry in the sun and
At least we have the footage, right?
yeah, we got the SD card, so that's the most important part. Oh, great.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Bruh, it's working. It's alive! Wow.
Are you happy, man?
Fucking happy, yeah. Wow. Even though I had crashed the drone into a rock and it had been submerged for at least half an hour, I now not only retrieved the footage, but also the drone was working again. Normally it is recommended to at least not turn the drone on for 5 to 7 days because you don't want to short circuit the board because there's probably still some water inside of it. But for me and my impatience, turning it on day 2 was good enough. Shooting in Kyrgyzstan was quite the logistical puzzle. I had a big shot list, shifting concepts, and then also the trip itself to think of. If I messed up one thing, the whole trip could suffer, so I'm very happy I found the drone. I needed a way to keep all this chaos in check, and that is why I used Milanote. If your brain ever feels like a messy drawer with lots of awesome but chaotic information, Milanote turns all that information into a clear visual board. I used it to map out the scope of this project in Kyrgyzstan. Also, if you're ever staring at a blank screen when starting a project and you feel creatively lost, Milanote has a ton of templates that are perfect for guiding you. It gave me the perfect starting point for dumping information, creating checklists, and basically seeing the whole project take shape. So, big shout out to Milanote for sponsoring this video. You can sign up for free with no time limit by clicking on the link in the description. And big shout out to you for watching this video.